Praise Jesus. Okay. Okay. Hi. Yo. Yo. Well, I'm gonna maybe go. Believe in God and Jesus, and you'll be saved. Live for Jesus with all you have. Be in Jesus' body or his soul, and his soul in yours. In Jesus' soul, I don't know. In Jesus, in him, in you. Jesus-like is the way to heaven. Jesus-like is the way we're judged. Jesus did not usually suffer. He didn't usually suffer. He sat at a huge banquet, the head of the table, while the Jews and non-believers feasted, with him. A huge table, I think, or only his disciples did. But at a different time, he feasted with non-believers and Jews. And the thing about Jesus is that the scribes thought, oh, they had to fast. Oh, they didn't get to eat. Jesus knew God better than everyone on earth besides God. He knew Jesus better because he was Jesus and he was God. So when he was God, he knew Jesus, unless Jesus knew himself. I don't quite understand, but I know that Jesus was God. Jesus was God and is God. Jesus is God. And as God, Jesus could see the past, present, and future and knew everything and had all the infinite knowledge of God when he became God, for all I know, unless I don't know what I'm talking about. When he was God, he may have only had the abilities that God had at that time when he was God, and the various times when he became God, when he was not Jesus and was Jesus, for all I know. But I know that Jesus was God. And God can do anything. And Jesus knew more than anybody else on earth. And he feasted and got to eat food. He didn't always fast all the time, but he fasted better than maybe anyone to have ever lived, because he not only fasted, but he avoided being led into, he did not be led into temptation. He didn't be led into temptation. He was without sin. And that's the best thing about Jesus, is he's God's son and was God. So he didn't sin. Praise God, praise Jesus. Okay, now what are we going to do now that we're here in my house? I don't know. What am I going to do? Trying to look cool. Where am I? Oh no. I better put my clothes on. I have my clothes. I have my shorts on. These are shorts. I guess I'll put my shirt on. Not quite used to walking around acting really cool with no shirt on again yet. I used to. People have muscle memory or whatever. Okay. I'm going to put my shirt on. Hey. 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 Oi. 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 That's pretty good. Just trying my best to get to my dad's house to see my dad and family. And for some reason, I couldn't get an Uber. The first Uber I got, he was on his way, and God told me in some way, don't get in the Uber. So I had to cancel the Uber. I don't know if he got a tip or not. I think he didn't get a tip. Then I may have wrote to my dad, called somebody else, or I wrote to him before all that, asking if I should get an Uber to his house. And then I got another Uber, and he was on his way. I was like, It was really intense. I was looking at the picture of his face and thinking of how he is, and going through all this godly Jesus work. It was like really hard at times. Sometimes God empowers you to do really good things with God and Jesus, or God, unless it's a false God in hell. You got to suffer the least of them. That's generally what I had to do.